Welcome back to another edition of Irish Bandit Revolution. I hope everyone is having a great week. I am back home. I, as always, am your host, the one, the only, the second Irish Bandit. Yes, I am back home, as you can see. Not at my friend's place anymore. Did that. Had a great time out there. Got a little bored, but yeah, you know what? I still had this to do, so that kept me occupied. And, you know, four small dogs will keep you occupied the best of your abilities. So let's just get right down into it. Today we are counting down my 5 favorite anime series. I was always kind of a little bit into anime, but then after I met my ex-girlfriend, she just kind of swung the doors open for me to totally start enjoying a lot of different anime. And boy, did we watch a lot, and there were just so many that I really, really enjoyed. One of the ones that she introduced me is on this list. I won't... I think it was the first one she showed me. So let's just not waste any more time. Let's get right down into it. The number 5 on the list is a very... The reason why it's so low on the list, and I'll get more into this later, is because it really didn't start... I really didn't start getting into it until like halfway through the series, which kind of hurts, but once I got into it, I really started enjoying it, and that was a series called Wolf's Rain. Wolf's Rain lasted 30 episodes, and it focused on 4 lone wolves who were disguised as human beings to get to paradise. Now, I know that sounds a little weird, but like I said earlier, it took me at least half the series to finally get into the series itself. But when I did, I absolutely enjoyed it. Just for some reason, those first 15 episodes or so, I could not connect with anything. It was like I almost stopped watching. But we kept going, we kept watching, and by the halfway point, I really enjoyed it. And by the end, I thought it was really good. The animation was spectacular. All of these that I watched were with the English dub, so none of them were with the Japanese dub or subtitling. But the animation was gorgeous, the artwork spectacular, the voice dubbing was done really well. Ultimately, in the end, I really, really enjoyed Wolf's Rain, and I think it's one that if somebody asks you, hey, what's a good anime that I could watch? Because I've never watched an anime before. I'd start them out with this one, quite honestly. Had a great story. The characters were so great. And, like I said, animation, artwork, casting was just so well done. So, definitely. Wolf's Rain is one to watch. Now, if you're into space and things of that nature, then you can't go wrong with this next entry. It is Outlaw Star. Running for 26 episodes, Outlaw Star focused on Captain Gene Highwind of the Outlaw Star and his crew, who traveled across space trying to open the secrets of Outlaw Star. This was an extremely fun anime series, and I loved Gene Highwind. I thought he was one of the best protagonists in any anime series that I've ever seen. Not including my number 1, but we'll get to that in a second. But Outlaw Star was just a fun series. It had a great cast. It had, again, gorgeous animation in this. And it was just a delight to watch. Now, some people who have watched Outlaw Star feel that Joss Whedon stole quite a bit from Outlaw Star for Firefly. I can see some of the crossover with it, but I don't think, even Joss Whedon has said he'd never seen an episode of Outlaw Star, so he couldn't say. So yeah, it's kind of like a space western, space opera, outer space western. It's confusing, but either way, Outlaw Star is another one that you should watch immediately after watching Wolf's Rain, because you'll get all this comedy, all this action, adventure, and everything that should make up a really good anime. So definitely check that one out. This one at number 3 is probably one of the biggest animes ever. It has traversed manga, anime series, movies. This is whoa. And I got to meet the voice of one of the main characters in this one. This is just a weird, mind-bending series. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. This one at number 3, Neon Genesis Evangelion. That's a mouthful. Evangelion, the series, ran 26 episodes and also spanned 5 different movies from 1997 to 2012. That is quite a period of time. But there were 2 movies from 1997, and then there were 3 movies from 2009 to 2012. I've only seen the first one, but it's a complete retelling of what happened in the series. Basically, what you have is a high schooler by the name of Shinji, who starts piloting a giant mecha robot, battling what are called angels. These are big, scary-looking, almost Godzilla-type creatures who have come to Earth and are wrecking crap up. And it's up to Shinji and a bunch of his school friends to stop them. That's a lot of pressure to put on a kid. Oh yeah, and the head of Nerve, the company who runs the mechas, is his father, who's a complete tyrant and bully and just is really, really mean to his son. And one of his companions is his mother, I think? I don't know. This was a weird series, had a strange ending, but it was gorgeous to watch, and the characters were so complex. I think the best thing about it is you had Pen Pen. One of the characters had a pet penguin named Pen Pen. Warm water penguin. You go and grab a beer from the fridge. I love Pen Pen. He was the best. But Evangelion is one that I wouldn't watch if you are just getting into anime. I'd leave that for a while. Watch a couple more of these on the list. Like watch Wolf's Rain first, then watch Outlaw Star, then maybe after that watch Cowboy Bebop, and then watch Neon Genesis Evangelion. Maybe throw in some Dragon Ball Z and some Sailor Moon in there too. That's up to you. But it is just a mind trip to watch, and you really need to pay attention. But again, the animation is beautiful. The voice cast was great. Shinji, I met Spike Spencer, the voice of Shinji, and he was fantastic. Like, he was great to talk to. I met 2 guys by the name of Spike Spencer and James Marsters, who was Spike in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Anyway, that's off topic. Neon Genesis Evangelion, you should watch it. Maybe watch a few more animes before you get into that one, because it'll mess with your mind, man. Coming in at number 2, I loved everything about this series. Great animation, great voice cast, and had Adam the Black Ranger from Power Rangers as the lead hero in this. This was a great series, worth every cent of the $60 billion double dollar reward on his head. We're talking about Trigun. Trigun lasted for 26 episodes for the full series, and here, let's go by what it says on the back of the DVD package here. Proclamation of the Bernardelli Insurance Society, wanted for wanton destruction of property, Vash the Stampede. Vash the Stampede is a wanted man with a habit of turning entire frontier towns into rubble. The price on his head is a fortune, and his path of destruction reaches across the arid wastelands of a desert planet. Unfortunately, most encounters with the spiky-haired gunslinger don't end well for the bounty hunters who catch up with him. Someone almost always gets hurt, and it's never Vash. Oddly enough, for such an infamous fugitive, there's no proof that he's ever taken a life. In fact, he's a pacifist with a donut obsession who's more doofus than desperado. There's a whole lot more to him than reputation leads on. Vash the Stampede definitely ain't your typical outlaw. And that is very true. He's called the humanoid typhoon for a reason. Just a path of destruction, but he never kills, and he has a... For someone who never kills and leaves a wake of destruction in his place, he's got a $60 billion double dollar bounty on his head. Yes, that's the currency in this show, double dollars. We're going to get into more weird currencies when we get into our number 1 series here in a moment. I absolutely loved Vash the Stampede. He's a great character. He's voiced by Johnny Young Bosch, who portrayed Adam, the second Black Ranger. No, Walter Jones was the first Black Ranger, but he was the second Black Ranger on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and he just does a fantastic job here as Vash. You have a great supporting cast, including the 2 Bernardelli insurance ladies. One of them is just this tall, good-looking Amazon who carries a stun gun. Like, not your typical Zapper stun gun, but it's like a giant Gatling gun thing that shoots out these big crosses that stun you, basically. And then you have Millie, the shorter of the two, and always thinking that Vash is always someone else, not believing that this spiky-haired idiot is actually Vash the Stampede. And then you have another one of my favorite characters, Nicholas D. Wolfwood. He's... Oh my god, Wolfwood. Oh my god, Wolfwood. This is one, again, if you're getting into anime, this is one I would definitely start with. You'll love it. The characters, the animation, the voice, all just spot on. And it is just a fun series. It starts out light and funny, but then gets so serious by the end when you meet up with Knives. I won't tell you much more about Trigun, but definitely it is one you should watch. Unfortunately, I don't have any honorable mentions for you, so we're just going to get right into number 1. This is my favorite anime. Everything about this is perfect. The animation, the action, the humor, the music. The music is the best part of this anime. I cannot rave enough about this show. Cowboy Bebop. Before we get into Cowboy Bebop, I'm just going to backtrack a second back to Trigun and let you know that there was actually a Trigun movie called Badlands Rumble. And it wasn't too bad, actually. It really carried the series, carried the spirit of the series with it, and it had Johnny Young Bosch return for Vash the Stampede, so I was cool with that. Okay, let's get into Cowboy Bebop. You saw how excited I get about this show. Oh my god, this show is just fantastic. Set in the year 2071. It is about a group of bounty hunters trying to make a buck, trying to track down criminals, headed by just one of the best characters you've ever seen in Spike Spiegel. A third Spike, there we go, yeah. He's got his companion, Jet Black, with him, a former police officer who quit the force after he realized there was just a little too much corruption in the ISSP, yes. I gotta watch Cowboy Bebop again. I have the series, so why not? Then you have Faye Valentine, one of the best female characters, femme fatale, gambler. She was actually frozen, cryogenically frozen in the 1990s and thawed out many years later. And then you have the insane, brilliant, funny, goofy Radical Edward, who is a hacker. She's also pretty androgynous. She named Ed. And oh my god, her final episode is just one of the best episodes ever. Like, of the series, of any anime you've ever seen. Then you have Ein, who's Data Dog Welsh Corgi. Ein is the reason why I love Welsh Corgis, to be quite honest with you. So, Cowboy Bebop is just a fantastic series from everything. The animation is spectacular. The action is just great. Great action, like you'd find it in a really good action movie. The characters are all deep and complex, and Spike is probably one of the most badass characters you've ever seen. Then you have Jet, the brains of the operation, who's like he's like the father figure. Then you have Spike and Faye and Ed, who are like the siblings. And it just works so well with all these episodes. I love just about every episode. There are a couple episodes that I will admit are kind of, like Boogie Woogie Feng Shui probably isn't one of the best episodes to watch if you're just getting into it. And, oh god, what episode is that again? Parole Le Fou Fou is just one of the freakiest episodes ever. It is, But my favorite episode has to be Toys in the Attic. Don't let the name fool you. It has nothing to do with toys, but it has to do with Ganymede rock lobster and a gelatinous thing attacking everybody on the Bebop. This is a great series, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it. You will love it. You'll love everything about it. I can't say enough good things about it. It is so good. You definitely have to give Cowboy Bebop a watch if you watch any of these series. I recommend all of them. Like I said, with Evangelion, I'd watch Cowboy Bebop first. I'd watch Outlaw Star, Trigun first. And then I would get into that one, because that one will just mess with your mind. But this one is really easy to get into. Like, I was hooked into it by the second episode. It was that good. And it is one I continue to rave about. If anybody asks me, hey, suggest me some animes, Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop, right off the bat, Cowboy Bebop. So, there you go, my 5 favorite anime series. Okay, before I wrap up this episode, much like I forgot that Trigun had a movie called Badlands Rumble, I also forgot to tell you that Cowboy Bebop had a movie called, well, simply Cowboy Bebop the Movie. Great movie. I definitely suggest it after you watch Cowboy Bebop. Alright, well that'll do it for this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give me a big old thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. What are some of your favorite anime series? Let me know in the comments section down below. Don't forget to share this video anywhere you can on your favorite social media outlet of choice. Over my shoulder right here, you're going to see a link to last week's episode where I'm talking about more strange TV theories. Go ahead and check that out. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, don't forget to tap that bell so when you know when I upload a new video. Coming up this Friday, you're going to see a brand new High Five. This wasn't My Five, this is High Five. Oh, too many fives. No, why'd I do High Five? Anyway, you're going to see a brand new High Five this coming Friday where I'm talking about 5 celebrities I would love to see at Saskatoon Expo. We're starting the hype train right this week. And next week, we are going to be looking back at a series of movies that I absolutely... Well, I'll admit, when I first heard about these movies, I was kind of dejected on them. Like, I love horror movies, but these ones kind of, from the previews. Then I actually got to watching them, and I realized, holy crap, these are actually really good movies. So next week, we're going to be talking about Saw 1, 2, and 3. And then the week after that, we're going to be talking about Saw 4, 5, 6, and final chapter. So this is going to be a 2-part retrospective of the Saw movies. So I hope you join me for that. If you love horror movies and you love the Saw movies, you're definitely going to want to check that out. Alright, well that is all the time I have for this week's episode, guys. Come back next week and for more Irish Bandit goodness. I'm the Bandit, and I'm out of here. I'll see you next week.